Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout has released a massive popularity out of nowhere. The game being a platforming battle royale is an idea I'm surprised hasn't surfaced sooner. Then throw on multiple game modes and maps, a game show theming, and then these adorable little things. And you have Fall Guys. So I'd like to go through Fall Guys and see why it's so popular right now. I'll be going through each of the game modes and maps and what's on offer outside of that. So to get started here, Fall Guys at launch features 24 different game modes and maps. There are 4 different categories of games being race, team, survival, and then finale. The goal for the race category is to avoid obstacles and make it to the finish. Each game varies on what obstacles are thrown at you. In Slime Climb, the goal is to just make it to the top. It doesn't matter how long it takes except for the rising lava. This one is really good as if you're skilled enough or lucky, multiple shortcuts can be used to skip sections. The Whirligig features a bunch of windmill-like obstacles to avoid, along with spinning pools to hop over. Towards the end there are 3 paths to take. The left and right ones are very hard to platform across, but take longer. Or you can risk everything and take a gamble on the middle path. I found that by sticking all the way to the left on the middle path, I had a better chance of getting through than anywhere else. Then just reach the end before the player limit has reached. Every other game in the race category now features the same get to the end before the player limit is reached. Fruit shoots obstacles to avoid falling through while on a downward moving platform. This is one of the most stressful games as you may get swarmed by a bunch of fruit at once and have to restart. Hit Parade's goal is to avoid a bunch of swinging objects. Seesaw contains a bunch of, well, seesaws, and the goal is to avoid falling, which can be rough. Whatever side has less people on the seesaw, that side will begin to tilt over. At the start, if you spawn in the front line for this game and don't mess up at the beginning, then seesaw isn't too bad, but if you're in the middle or God forgive the back, it may get a bit rough. All the seesaws sway back and forth, and if you're in the back, it will be tough. Dizzy Heights uses these spinning platforms to try and keep the top of. Gate Crash has multiple gates opening and closing, and you need to time when to go through each one. The highlight of this one is its finish, where you slide down a bunch of slime and need to time jumping through the finishing gates. All of the games mentioned so far are all really fun. The last 2 race games, however, they aren't the best. DoorDash has a bunch of real and fake doors, and your job is to guess which one is correct. This one is completely random on which doors will break open, and there's no way to tell which one is real and which one is fake. Tiptoe also has random guessing, where you'll step on a tile and sometimes it'll light up and be real, and other times, well, it is a bunch of guesswork on where the path will lead. Both of the games are tolerable at the very least. The next game category is Team. You'll be randomly paired with a bunch of other people and forced to work together for a common goal. Win, or in some cases, just don't come last. If you play with a party of people, you'll actually be paired on the same team as them, so that's nice. Now overall, the team games are probably the weakest part of Fall Guys. Now, Team Tail Tag. The goal is to steal other teams' tails and don't let yours get taken. Team with the least tails is out. Sounds fun, right? Problem is, what happened here was the person who stole my tail on their screen was right behind me, but on mine, I was very far away from them. To try and compensate, they let my tail get taken. You might be thinking, you just have bad internet, and you may be partially right, but other games find ways around this issue by having the game predict where the character will be. The game itself is fine, it's just rough sometimes due to this issue. Jinx. The idea here is one person on each side is Jinx and has to spread it to the other team. First team to get fully Jinxed loses. The way the stage is designed here feels very cramped, which makes this mode very stressful in a good way. Hoarders. Goal is to have the most balls on your side. If you're on this one, you don't have a lot of control on what's going on. If your team isn't helping you push one of the 7 balls, then you're just doomed. It's okay, but nothing great. Now Rock and Roll is an interesting one. There are 3 teams, each have to push their ball into the goal on the other side. After going through a course of pushing the ball past obstacles, all the balls end up in a wide open area. This is where other teams will try to push back on your ball. How this game normally goes is one ball gets away without anyone trying to push it, while the other 2 teams get pushed around until one eventually makes it past the opposing team. I like this one as you can either help your team push your ball, or mess with other opposing teams. Egg Scramble though is kind of a mess. Look, I understand the idea that they were going for. The goal is to try and get as many eggs as you can into your basket area. Team with the least eggs loses. The problem is there are so many people, it feels like you can't move without an egg leaving your hands. Especially the golden eggs, these are impossible to keep. There are just too many people in a tight space. As well, you steal from others' baskets, but that becomes a horribly crowded mess where nothing goes well. Now for the most forgettable game, Oopsie Daisy. If you jump through a ring, your team gets a point. Team with the least points gets eliminated. Sometimes there's a golden ring that gets you multiple points. I like this, but I always forget about its existence. Then for the last team game, Fall Ball. This is soccer essentially. Get the most goals and you win. There are 2 balls on the court always. Normally it's just soccer balls, but every once in a while a football may appear, and even a rare golden egg, which is actually worth 5 points. My biggest issue with Fall Ball is half the time, the teams will be uneven, and Fall Ball normally happens right before the finale, so not many players are left at that point. Anyways, you can feel it being unfair when it's 6 versus 7 or 4 versus 5. If there were a lot more people in the match, then it wouldn't matter. So that's the team games. Some of them are fun, some of them are annoying, and some of them I just don't care about. Now the survival category. We got Jump Club to start here. It's simple. Jump over the circling green pole and be wary of the pink one. Don't get eliminated. Simple. It gets faster as time goes on as well. Next, Block Party. Avoid the oncoming blocks to stay alive. Different patterns can happen. As well, it becomes harder and more elaborate as the timer ticks. Well, it's supposed to be harder unless you're like this guy. When I tried, I just died. Now for my favorite survival game, Rollout. Avoid falling by staying on top of the rotating objects. Speeds up as time goes on, so be careful. Just don't get shoved. Now for more Tail Tag. Like I mentioned before for Team Tail Tag, the matches being laggy then this isn't very fun. But if it's working, then yeah, this one is solid. The goal of this variant is to just have a tail by the end of the timer. Now the last survival game is by far the worst in the game. Perfect Match sounds innocent, but upon playing, you see why. The idea is you have to match fruit that appears on the screen to the panels on the ground. Memorize the fruits on the panels, fruit will appear on the screen, go to that spot to avoid dying. Here's the problem, you don't need to actually pay attention. You have ample time to react and move to a spot. So all you have to do is follow the crowd and you'll be fine. The game is incredibly easy. Literally at max only 2 to 4 people make it out in this game. So it's boring, easy, and you don't even have to play it. The final 3 games are the ones that appear in the finals. The most well-known one is Fall Mountain. You spawn at the bottom and have to be the first to grab the crown at the top. There are boulders to avoid, hammers to dodge, and the elusive crowd that sways up and down. Next is Hexagon, my favorite game. You spawn above several rows of hexes. If you land on a hex face, it disappears. You want to be the last alive to win. It's so stressful but so much fun. Good amount of strategies in this one. You can jump from hex to hex to save time, or you can just try to cut people off. I will say it can be really deflating to follow several rows of hexes. Now, take a guess at what the final game could be. It's more Tail Tag. Literally, out of all the game modes, why did you pick Tail Tag to keep reusing? And you put in the finals. You know how frustrating it is to get your tail taken from 3 feet away in the finals? Anyways, the Royal Fumble. There's one tail, be the last to have it when the timer goes out. Once again, if it's laggy, it's bad. If it's not, it's okay. Just why? So that's all of the games in Fall Guys. But you have to have incentive to play the games, right? Every day in the store, there are costumes, designs, and emotes to buy. Every time you play, at the end you'll earn coins and EXP. The coins are used in the shop, but the points are used to level up to unlock more costumes and etc. The leveling up is designed like a battle pass, but instead of costing money, it's a part of the game, at least for now. And if you win a round, you'll earn a crown which can be used to buy legendary items. Now you can buy coins in this game for actual money, but I haven't really had an issue getting coins. Crowns on the other hand, yeah, you have to win to earn those mostly. Thankfully, you can't just buy crowns with real money. So if you see somebody decked out in legendary gear, they're either just really good or really good at hacking. So that's Fall Guys. For a $20 game, it's a fun time. I'm honestly surprised it didn't just go the free-to-play route though. The game's set up like one, I'm just surprised it didn't go that way. A lot of people have been comparing this game to Rocket League, as that game became insanely popular due to PS Plus as well. I will say, I don't know why they're being compared so much. Rocket League can be played much more competitively, while Fall Guys has a lot of randomness to it. If Fall Guys wants to be competitive, there needs to be a lot of balancing and fixes to the game. Not only the servers, but improvements to the games themselves. I like this game and would love to see it improve. For an indie studio, they've done a nice job so far. To keep people interested, they need to have constant updates. I hope to see this game grow. Thanks for watching.